Everyone, and welcome to this very special presentation, which is called Set Up and Manage Your WordPress Plugins in Just a Few Clicks Instantly. Hi, my name is Robert Plank. We're about to bring out our very special friend, Lance Tomarshiro. And I say friend because, well, he's not just my friend, but I hope that he is your friend or gets to be your friend as well. So to make sure that you can hear us, you can find the question box, you know we're here. Can you type in the question box the word howdy, Howdy, and Lance, can I get a marker real quick? So we're going to bring out our friend Lance Tomarshiro, and Lance, he knows a lot of cool stuff, and he's been where a lot of you guys are. He's been where a lot of you guys are trying to get to right now, and the thing that Lance and I always make a point to do is to get everything done quickly and actually completed, and not just leave all this stuff hanging around. We want to actually have websites online. We want to actually get our quote-unquote projects finished. That way we can get some stuff out there, start making some money, and actually get the freedom that we all deserve. So Lance is going to be showing you how to pretty much get any kind of website you want online in just about 10 clicks. You click a couple buttons, and now if you want to have a website that sells a product, that puts out videos, that puts out text, any kind of website you want, you just click a few clicks, click a few buttons, a few check boxes, and now that site is all up and running. So it looks like everyone is here. Everyone says howdy, howdy from Maine, howdy from wherever you're at. So can you help me in welcoming our very special presenter, Lance Tomarshiro? He's going to help you get your head on straight, going to help you make some money and get your website online and get your website improved and making even more money, even more traffic faster than you ever thought possible. So here comes our friend, Lance Tomarshiro.
Oh, awesome. I even got the standing applause. That's like very cool stuff. And one of the things that you mentioned here, we're going to talk about a lot of different things today. I know that this is called Set Up and Manage Your WordPress Plugins in Just a Few Clicks. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of that, how to make templates. We've added a couple of really cool things to what I'm going to show you today. It's going to be awesome. But one of the things that Robert talked about in the beginning, I love listening when Robert is introducing people, when he's talking about something. One of the great things is he drops these really cool little quote golden nuggets out there about how we run our business. And he said something that was really important, and I hope you guys all caught that. And he said that what we like to do in our business is we like to get things out there fast. We like to get them done so they're not sort of lingering around. And we not only do that with our business, but we try to do that with our lives as well. And so what I thought I wanted to do today was I want to teach you guys not only about WordPress and all this, but I want to teach you guys how to complete your goals, how to get things done, but not only get them done, but get them done fast. Have any of you guys ever experienced this thing where you get this great idea, you've got an idea for a product or a website, or you want to lose weight or whatever it is, you get this great idea and you get really excited about it. And I know for me, well, I'm going to let you guys in on one of my failures here. For me, I saw this, I like to watch infomercials late at night. Imagine that, right? And for me, one of these things was P90X. You guys know what this is? It's a workout sort of thing. And it's not just a workout thing, it's like a crazy workout thing. And here's what happens. Maybe you're like this as well. So I decided I'm going to do this P90X thing. So I call and I order the DVD set to my house. And then I'm like, well, you know what I need since I'm going to be working out? I need to get some new workout shoes, and I need to get some new workout shorts, and I need to get these supplements, and I need to get all of this. And so I buy all this stuff. I'm all excited about it. And by the time the DVDs got to me, I'm kind of over it, kind of bored with it. But a weird thing happens, right? Yeah, P90X did make me sick. It actually did on the first day. And I quit doing it. But the point of it is we get really excited about these goals and about things that we want to do, and we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves most of the time, right? And then what happens? Well, then we get excited about something else, or we get excited about moving on to something else, but we still have this other thing sort of lingering in the background, right? That we didn't do, that we know we want to do, but never got to it. And we're like, well, I'll do that next week, right? Or I'll get to that next week. And pretty soon what you do is you keep moving from thing to thing to thing. And what started out as really good intentions, maybe setting up a new website, but then you got distracted and worked on another one. And pretty soon you have this backlog of stuff that you used to be really excited about, but now they sort of have this negative connotation to them, right? And so what's really important is getting things completed or to a state of completion so that you can move forward and keep your mind clear and keep yourself going. And so one of these things that has been going on in my life recently is, my family, my father's family's from Hawaii. I spent a lot of time in California. I love swimming. I love the ocean. And my daughter last summer decided she wanted to learn how to swim. This is her right here. So actually, that's the end of the story. I just wanted to show this picture. I love it. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, what happened was last summer, not this summer, last summer, she decided she wanted to learn how to swim. So my wife found some classes for her at the community center. She went through all of the classes last year, couldn't swim. Now we're in summer again. So my wife signed her back up for the classes again. She wasn't getting the swimming part. So in total, I was just asking my wife and her this morning before we got on here, my wife told me she was in 14 weeks of swim lessons total, still didn't know how to swim, wasn't comfortable, wasn't scared. And so what happened was a few days ago, I said, well, I'm a great swimmer. I feel like I know how to talk to my daughter. I think I can teach her this. I took her to the pool. We went, and nothing. She just freaked out. She couldn't do it. And I'm like, it's easy. You've done all this. You know how to do it. And so what we did was my wife went and found her, guess what? It wasn't working the way that she was learning. She found a new teacher. And in 3 days, within 3 days, this kid is now swimming. Now, what happened with her? So I asked her, I said, well, you had all these other lessons. I went and tried to teach you, and now this new teacher just teaches you. What is different? And she looked at me and she goes, well, you never said to me, monkey, airplane, soldier. I was like, what do you mean I never said to you, monkey, airplane, soldier? We're talking about swimming. And she said, well, the guy that I went to in this class, he didn't let me wear a life jacket. I was really scared. He put me on my back and told me to float, and he stayed there. And he said, all there is to swimming is doing monkey, airplane, soldier. And so what that meant to her was that she would lay on her back, and he would sort of hold her up. So she was basically floating on her back, and she'd put her arms in like a monkey, if you can picture what that looks like, right? Like the hoo, 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 under your armpits, the monkey. And that was the first move. The second move was airplane, which meant put her arms straight out. And the third move was soldier, which meant push your arms down to your side, right? And she's like, so as soon as he said monkey, airplane, soldier, those are all things that I know. Those are all things that I can do. And the next thing I knew, I could swim on my back. And then it was easy for me to learn how to swim on my front. So why am I telling you guys all of this? Well, the main reason is that I see so many of you out there that sort of, you don't think what you have is valuable, right? And the real value in all of everything out there in the world right now are things that people have taken and turned into their own systems. And so, there's a million people out there that teach swimming, right? But for whatever reason, the one person that had the system that connected with grace was the one whose system was called monkey, airplane, soldier. Now, is it any different than how anybody else teaches people to swim? Well, probably not. But because he came up with this system that kids seem to identify with, he is a unique teacher in his space. And I want you guys all to sort of think about that in your marketplace, because a lot of you guys, and I talk to a lot of you, I work with a lot of you, and you guys don't understand that you guys have something of value, and the way that you do that, your stuff is unique, and just that uniqueness is going to touch the audience that you want. And we'll come back and talk about that here just in a little bit, but keep that in mind and start thinking about how your stuff is actually different than anybody else's. And so what I want to do here to sort of drive this point home and talk about some stuff is I want to play a game with you guys, a real quick game, and I want to call this game, Who's the Most Successful? And so let me tell you about this picture before I get going here too much. So basically, this is from yesterday. I volunteered at the museum that's near my house. And I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys from California know of this place. There's a museum in San Francisco called the Exploratorium. And I used to get to go there as a kid. I love this place. It's a museum like none other. It's like you get to actually go interact with all of this stuff. So like most museums, you walk in, you're like all bored. You don't get to do anything. Well, this museum, takes stuff and allows you to actually interact with it. And so the museum that's by my house got this exhibit in from San Francisco. And so I went and volunteered at this yesterday. And it's really cool. So what you're looking at right here is, this is like the most cool part of the entire exhibit. It's where people spend the most time. And as you can see, there's this big sort of chamber, right? And you can see people going in right here. And there's this like readout over here. And what this readout shows is it's like a score of how quiet you are. And what's going on is you walk through this sort of sound chamber right here, and there's a bunch of gravel on the bottom. And so you walk over it and you see who gets the lowest score. And so I'd been watching people all day long go to this thing, and I had been keeping track. I mean, that was like what kept me going all day while I was over there, is everybody that would come in, I'd go, you got to come try this out and see what kind of low score you can get. And so all throughout the day, all of these people were usually getting, and I don't know what the score is. It's like, it's not in decibels, but it's like, it just adds up the louder and louder you get. And most people would walk through this and score like 100 and 150, right? And so there's all these people spending all this time going through there. Now, what I want you guys to tell me is, of all the people that you can see in this picture, because these people are all together here, except for this guy over here. He's not with this group. But all these other people here, which one of them do you think was the most successful and got the lowest score? And I can tell you this, one of the people in this picture not only got the lowest score in the entire group, but got the lowest score of the day. So think about that. So all they're doing is walking across a bunch of gravel and trying to see who got it the closest. So I see the lady, the heavy guy, the kid, the woman, the little girl, the little boy, the little girl. And I'm going to tell you right now that the person that went and was the most successful with this family right here, end of the day, was this little girl right here. Does anybody know why this little girl was so successful? Can anybody figure out? And it's not because she's lighter. It's not because she had determination. What it is she did something super, super smart. So while all of her brothers and dads and uncles kept going through this thing over and over, trying to get it more quiet, she's over here watching this thing, right? And I was like, that's really interesting. That's why I actually had to take a picture of this, because I was watching this whole thing unfold, and I'm like, there is a huge lesson in here. Right? And so let me clear back here and I'll show you. The reason why she was so successful is that while everybody else just went up and started like going through, like, watch how quiet I can watch what I'm doing, watch me, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in head first. This little girl went over to that machine that nobody else noticed. And do you want to know what she was looking at? Well, she was doing something before she even tried. While everybody else was doing stuff, she went over and picked this thing up that said, well, if you want to know how to do this thing called fox walking, which is how to talk really quiet, watch this video. And you know how long this video was? This video was 25 seconds long. So she did something that almost nobody else does. She said, well, you guys are all trying to figure this out. I don't know how to walk quiet. You guys are all doing this. I'm going to find out what the system is to actually getting something done correctly. And she actually, like I said, everybody else was scoring between 100 and 150. She scored an 11. And I mean, her family was going through, they were taking off their shoes, they were trying to walk all different. She watches this 25-second video, scores the best score of the entire day. For what? Well, because she found the system, okay? And that's the same thing as, you know, what we were talking about with Grace learning how to swim from her instructor, what we're talking about with this, and what we're talking about with all of you guys and your products. The reason why a lot of people are successful faster than other people, and I'm not saying that her brothers and her dad and her uncle weren't eventually going to get quieter and quieter, but I mean, what's better? Is it better to spend a little bit of time, learn a system, and just get the result right off the bat? Or is it better to walk through the thing 100 times, frustrate yourself, not know what's going on, and then get through it, right? And so they do this thing called modeling. And all of you guys should do this thing called modeling. I mean, I have people that I model in my business. I know Robert has people that he models for his business. I mean, there's some people on this call right now that throughout my career I've modeled. There's people that I want to do things like, but there's a big difference between modeling, which I think a lot of us get hung up on, and copying, okay? Because modeling does not mean copying something. Modeling means if I'm looking at somebody and they're getting a result that I want, or they do something that I want to do, or they have this skill that I want to have, you model the things that they do, but you don't copy them. And unfortunately, what happens a lot on the internet is that people come on and they want to teach how to play guitar to somebody. And instead of using their own system, right, like the swim teacher, like the little girl that was buying, they go, well, this guy's already selling stuff. I want to be in guitar. I'm going to model him. And what do? They copy it exactly. And then what happens? You get into a place where, well, now you're just the same person. But here's something interesting is that if you model somebody, if you just look at what they're doing, take those concepts and don't copy it, but you model it, well, then something really neat happens in that you have no competition. Nobody can compete with the guy that was teaching Grace how to swim with his monkey airplane soldier system, right? Everybody might teach how to learn how to swim the exact same way. You start on your back, you float, you learn how to propel yourself backwards, but nobody else can use the monkey airplane soldier system, right? And that's the same with every single one of you in your businesses, in your niches, is don't get caught up in copying, do modeling, right? And so what happens with copying? Well, everybody says, well, you know, I have to copy because otherwise I'm the same as everybody else, like we're talking about. Or they say, you don't get it. I'm going to invent something nobody's ever seen before. I'm going to just do this whole thing. I'm going to make it up. And you spend all of this time coming up with this new system that is something brand new that nobody else has seen. So, I mean, are you guys trying to invent the wheel in your business? Because we see this a lot where people come on and they want to create something that never existed, right? Because that, what do they say? Well, they say, well, I mean, look at Steve Jobs. He invented the iPad. Look at, you know, Bill Gates. He invented Microsoft Windows, and that's why they're so rich, is they didn't model, they created. Well, you know, what I want to tell you guys is take a real look at some of these things, because Bill Gates, he didn't create Windows. Windows was something that was created in Bell Labs years before he came around. He had heard about it, he knew the concept, he took it and tweaked it for his own. Right? Completely new thing. The iPod. I mean, yeah, the iPod was a brand new thing, but I mean, what was it really? Well, it was a portable music player, right? And I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember these things, but like when I was a kid, I had this thing called a Walkman, and it played cassette tapes, and it was like huge. And so, I mean, did Steve Jobs really invent the iPod? Well, he invented something, but it wasn't new. It was his take on it. It was, he took something that people wanted and put his own twist on it, right? DVD players. I mean, anybody remember Betamaxes, VHSs? I mean, I remember at one point people were like, Betamax is the best thing ever. And funny thing happened, right? Betamax lost out to VHS, which had worse quality, but because of the marketing came out better. And now we have these things called DVDs, right? But if you really think about it, they didn't invent anything. They said, well, people like watching movies in the theater and people have TVs in their home. How do we merge these two things together? They took concepts that were already out there and improved upon them, right? The iPhone with the Gorilla Glass. I mean, everybody thinks like, well, you know, they have this really cool glass. It doesn't scratch. It doesn't do anything like that. But what it does is Steve Jobs didn't invent that. It was, again, something that had been invented for years that nobody cared about inside of Bell Labs. So all of these things, and I mean, really look at what you're doing, because so many entrepreneurs come online And what they get hung up on is they need to be unique. They need to actually create something nobody's ever seen. And what I want you to take from all of these lessons that we talked about, the three things so far, right? We talked about the swim instructor. We talked about the little girl walking across the stuff. We talked about Microsoft and iPod and all of these things, is that all of these systems are somebody took things that were already in the world and put their own spin on it and made it better, their own problems, their own stuff. And every one of you, no matter what niche you're in, can do the exact same thing. And if you just start looking at your business that way, you're going to be able to make bigger strides faster. You're going to be able to complete things better. And you're going to be able to have a better product that actually brings you income faster and to market quicker. And that's what we really want to do. And so one of the things that's been an amazing sort of invention, a thing that's helped people a lot, is this thing called WordPress. And so just really quick, how many of you on the call, you can just go find that question box, do you use WordPress? Because if you guys don't know, I mean, Robert and I, we both have computer science backgrounds. And it's really funny for us when we watch things that happen in technology, when we watch things that happen on the internet, because these are all ideas that have been around forever. And so like in the computer science field, we have this idea of layers of abstraction, right? And basically what layers of abstraction means is that, well, what's a computer really? Well, you guys may have heard this, right? It's ones and zeros. Well, it's not ones and zeros. Ones and zeros represent electrical current on a chip, on a board, right? So if there's a current going through it, it means it's a 1. If there's not a current going through it, it means it's a 0, on and off, right? And so then you have, so you've got, that's how the computer works. And then you, what do you do with it? You put an operating system on top of it, right? This is Windows. I don't know what Mac OS is called now, Linux, whatever it is. So it's a layer so you can interact with your computer, right? And so then this thing called the internet came along, and we had HTML where people had to learn how to code and all of that. And now we have this thing called WordPress, which it's a new product on the market, not a new invention, right? It's a twist on an old concept, the concept of abstraction in computers. And so what it has done is it's really opened up the world of being able to create sites online very simply, right? It looks like almost all of you guys use it. I say, yes, yes, I do. Yes, all the time. William's just learning it right now, which is awesome because it really does bring a lot of things that were out of reach for a lot of people into being able to use it. And what does it do? Well, it abstracts out what? Like, I don't need to create a web page anymore. All I need to do is type the content and magically the page is up there. And so they've abstracted all of the sort of hard stuff away from it. And another interesting thing about WordPress, I was just looking at, if you guys aren't using it, you need to get on board. I was looking at Wikipedia this morning, and this was a stat from August of 2011. So I'm sure it's more than that now. But they said that over 22% of all brand new websites on the internet are now being created in WordPress. That's staggering. That's a staggering number. And I mean, I challenge you guys, look around on the internet. Look at when you're searching around. I bet you almost everything you see now is using WordPress. And so we're going to show you some really cool tricks on how you can incorporate that into your business to get things completed, to get yourself moving forward, to get yourself in a place that you want. So of you guys out there that said that you had WordPress or are using it, I want to know how many sites that you have on average, because I mean, Robert and I, we have more than I can count. I see Chuck has 5. I see Abby has 145. I see Paul has about 20. Robert Vance has 20. Paul has 1, 5, 3, 3, 4, 6, 30 to 40, 20, 130, 52, 50, 145, 22, 7, right? So people are managing these WordPress sites. And the beauty of WordPress is that you can set stuff up really, really fast, or faster than you could set up like a PHP page or an HTML page or whatever, right? Because you don't have to worry about all of the details. Now, no, I mean, it seems like a lot of you guys are setting up a lot of sites, and a lot of you are probably maintaining a lot of sites. So I want you guys to think about this. How many plugins on average do you put on one of your sites? So like for those of you, whether you have 2 sites or 100 sites, how many plugins do you put on there? And I'm seeing like 35, 17, 10, 15, 3, 20, 12, 9. So a lot, right? And when you're setting up these sites, what happens? Well, if you guys have done that, you know that every time you set up a site, what do you have to do? You have to go find the plugins, you got to install them, you have to activate them, you have to do all of this stuff, right? And then what happens when you go back to your site? You have to go in and update the ones that are out of date. You got to figure out what's compatible again, all of these things, right? These are all things that take time. And I mean, for those of you that are really, really fast, the WordPress experts out there, I'm sure there's some of them. How long, I mean, if you have a site with that you need to put 20 or 12 or 10 plugins on, about how long does it take you to install the plugin, download it, activate it, maybe update it when you come onto there? I mean, my guess is, I know that on mine, it usually takes me, maybe a minute, 2 minutes to set those things up. Virginia says too long. Abby says it depends on my connection, usually 20 minutes. Somebody else says an hour or more per site for all of them. Somebody else outsources it. 10 minutes start to finish, 20 to 60 minutes. So a lot of time, right? Just for doing something that you know which one. I mean, why can't I just I've got a site set up. I know I need these 10 plugins. I want them updated and I want them installed. Well, that is what we're going to show you guys today, because this is something that's really going to change the way that people use WordPress. And it's this plugin called PluginDashboard, where literally you just click, click, click a few buttons and you can have all of your stuff set up. But what I want to show you today, besides how this all works, is I want to show you guys some really cool new features that we've added in. I know that some of you guys have this, and I'm glad that you're here, because the big advantage to PluginDashboard, well, it's the idea of having a template, right? It's the idea of not having to manage something. It's the idea of, if all of your sites are going to be set up the same way with the same plugins, why do I have to deal with all of this? Why can't I just say, I've got a template, I want it to be installed over here, so I don't have to worry about activating 20 plugins. So I don't have to worry about downloading 20 plugins, right? Wouldn't it be easier if you could just check a box? Well, that's what we think too, and that's what I want to show you today. So if you guys go over here, those of you that are live on the call with me right now, I've got a new blog set up at membershipnewbie.com/template. And this is what happens, right? When you install WordPress right out of the box, what does it look like? Well, it's up here and running, and they put this post in here for you, and they put all this stuff in here. And so what happens typically when you install a blog, right? Well, you log in, you install it, and then let's go ahead and log in here. Oops. WP admin. Go ahead and log in here. Right? The first thing you do is you log in, and you have to do what? You have to go to the post, right? And then you have to delete this. And then you have to go to the pages, and then you have to delete this. And then once you do all that, you're ready to install all of your plugins, right? And so how do you guys go about installing plugins? Well, what I typically do is, if it's one that I have, well, then on my new blogs, I go to install plugins, and I go to add new, and I go to upload. And the reason why I go to upload is that I like to keep, or used to keep, a folder on my desktop. And this folder on my desktop just kept all of the plugins that I liked or used or thought I might use, or anything like that, right? And so you go to you might have to keep these all on your computer or whatever. So I'd go here and I'll pick PluginDashboard. Okay, and we'll install this now. Gary says that's what I do now, right? You got to keep everything in one place. And if you've got multiple sort of templates, maybe you have one for sales letters, one for search engines, one for personal blogs, just keep like 3 of them, right? So you can easily get to them. Well, with PluginDashboard, sort of all of that changes. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that here in just a minute. So if you remember, the first thing I said is, well, you usually come in and we have to do what? We have to delete all the posts, right? Because WordPress so nicely puts these posts in for us. They put these pages for us. And another thing, I just installed this blog and I noticed that Akismet is already out of date. It needs to be updated. I've never used Hello Dolly. So, I mean, there's a lot to do before I even get started, right? Well, now with Plugin Dashboard, I go to Dashboard and then Plugin Dashboard. And when I start now, I go down to the very bottom, and the first thing that I do is I leave this checked so it deletes all that stuff that WordPress puts in there for me, okay? And I also update everything on my site. So I leave these in, I go to Plugin Dashboard, and I just hit the install and upgrade button. And as you can see, Plugin Dashboard goes through for me, and now what you'll notice, when I go here, guess what? Posts gone. Don't have to clean that up anymore. All these links gone. Don't have to do anything there anymore. Pages all gone. Everything is now clean and set up so that I'm ready to go. I've got everything from a great starting point. And here's something else I want to show you. Check it out. Akismet already been upgraded for me. Now I don't have to go through and click this. It automatically upgrades them for me. So now I want to show you guys another really cool thing, because personally in my blogs, I don't use Akismet or Hello Dolly. I just don't. I mean, some of you guys might. I personally don't. So now, and I go back to my dashboard here and I just go, all right, what I'm going to do is I want to delete any plugins that aren't currently in use or activated, because on my blogs, especially when I'm starting clean, I don't want any of that there. So I'm going to delete any of those plugins. And I mean, you know, something I like to do is maybe I want to put Page Link Manager on here. Maybe I want to put WP Touch so that I don't have, so that it automatically makes me a mobile website for my blog. And it's really easy. All I do is just check these boxes for the types of stuff that I want to put on my blog. And what do? Well, I come down here and then I just hit the button again. And now Plugin Dashboard goes to work for me, downloading and installing WP Touch. It's going to get rid of Akismet for me and Hello Dolly. And now you can come here and see these are now checked. So I know that these are active and installed on my blog, and they're all ready to go. And so I'm going to switch back to the plugin page just to show you guys again, but literally there's no reason to need to go to the plugin page ever again now that you have Plugin Dashboard. So I'm going to go back to plugins just so we can verify. And as you can see, a couple of interesting things happened. In just a couple of checks and clicks, I have these not only on my site, but also activated all in one click. So I don't have to go find it, activate it, do all of that anymore. It's automatically done for me. Now, here's something you guys might notice here, that there's two new things, not only in my plugins page, but also inside of my dashboard. And I want to show you really quick what those are for. So first of all, with WP Touch, let's go back here to Plugin Dashboard. And let's say you were looking through this and you were like, well, what is, when you go back here, what is WP Touch? Well, when you come back and you look at your plugins, now you have these tutorials right here for the ones that have it. You click on it, and right within your dashboard, you've got a tutorial for how to make it work, how to install it, and what it does. So pretty cool, so that you can see if you ever wanted to use it. Okay, so again, back to Plugin Dashboard, we've got all of our stuff set up. Now, let's say, what is the old way? What are some of your favorite plugins? Because it's easy for me to say, like, okay, we've got these set up for you for navigation. Let's say you want to put WP Super Cache on here. What do? Well, you click a box. Let's say you want to put Akismet back on here. What do? You just click a box. Somebody's saying they want to put wishlist on their site. Well, we've even got S2 member, wishlist member, and member WingX. And all you have to do is check a box, enter in your key, it downloads the latest version, it installs it, and it activates it for you. Nothing that you have to do besides just check the box. Pretty simple stuff, right? One of the ones I like to use, WP Tables Reloaded. I click Save All Changes. And Plugin Dashboard goes out and is now making all of these changes, activating the plugins all for me. I have to do nothing. And check it out. From one page, I can see everything that is active on my blog. So if I want to see if I have a caching plugin set up, well, pretty easy to do, right? I can see that this one's on and active. I can see that Akismet is on my blog and active. And I mean, it's easy all from one screen to easily see what I've got, to see tutorials for what things are, and to see what's actually on my site. Now, Paul brings up a very good question. He says, what if the plugin's not on the list? That is a very good question, and let's talk about that real quick. So let's go find one that's not on the list. Well, how do we normally do this? Because a lot of you guys said at the beginning, it takes you guys 20 minutes, 60 minutes to get your stuff set up and activated. And I bet you it's because you have to go through and do this every time. So let me tell you what I do. I always go to plugins, and then I go to add new, and then I go to search. And let's say, well, I'm looking for an SEO plugin, but I'm not really sure what it was called. I know somebody told me, but I'll recognize it. So I go to the search thing and I type in like SEO, and I go to search plugins, and then what do I get, right? I get all of these different plugins. And I'm like, okay, Scott says, yeah, that's fun. I agree. So I'm going to just look for one here. I know, here's the one I want, Platinum SEO Pack. So what do? Right? This is how you normally do it. You click install now. Do you want to install this? Yes. It goes through. Now I have to activate it, and it's now on my site, right? Well, let's go see what Plugin Dashboard did. So now Plugin Dashboard, if we go and look, there is this section. Oh, this one was part of it already. Let me grab it here, and we'll show you. We'll have to grab another one to show that. It will add it to your other plugins. So let me show you how that works. Like I said, I used to keep a sort of template on my computer, right? So I go to choose files, and I can easily upload anything in my current template. Choose file, wishlist builder. I want to have that one. Go through and do install and uninstall selected plugins. And it goes through, right? Paul says, what about paid programs that you bought and then download to your PC? That's exactly the two that I just showed you. Those are plugins you can only purchase from Robert and myself. And as you can see, since they weren't in the list, they now show up right here in this other plugins section, right? So they're now on my site. And if we go look, so we've got WP Auto Signup and WP List Builder. If we go look in plugins now, we can see that not only did it upload them, it also activated them as well. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that's good and all, but here's the thing I want you to think about. What just happened? What have we been doing? Well, the first thing is we know we've got a bunch of plugins we want to use. We had the folder on our computer, which a lot of you guys also said that you guys are currently doing, where you keep basically a template with all of your plugins on, and now when you want to create a new blog, you probably go through, upload, activate, do all of that. Well, here's the thing. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just have this blog template, like get all the plugins that you want, and then say, okay, that's my template. I've already got it good to go. Would that be awesome? Yeah, that would be really cool, right? Because even just that, this whole thing of clicking choose file, uploading the thing, activating it, takes you about an hour. Well, what if we had a blog like we do right now at membershipcube.template, and we can go to Plugin Dashboard and we can see, all right, this is a cool template. I've got like SEO pack, I've got page link manager, I've got WP Touch, and these are the plugins I want on every single one of my sites. And I don't want to have to go through and activate them and upload them. I just want this template. I want to move it over there. I'll configure it. I'll do all of that, but I just want to get a head start, right? Well, there's this really cool feature now inside of Plugin Dashboard where all you have to do is check, right? Click a mouse button. You click here, and you can now transfer all of your installed plugins on your blog to any other blog that you want. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to go over to this site that I have set up over here called membershipnewbie.com/PD. And let's look at this. Well, it looks like the base installation, right? It looks like the exact, like what our other blog did before we started working on it. So typically, what do? Well, we go through, delete everything, but that's ridiculous, right? Because I know I want it to be like this. I know I want these plugins on here. So let me show you a really cool trick that you can do. I'm going to log in here, WP admin, we'll log in again. And let's take a look. We've got our test posts just like we had last time. We've got our links just like we had last time. We've got to go through and delete everything. We've got out of date Akismet. We've got Hello Dolly. Well, let's do something, because now my only template, my only plugin that I need is PluginDashboard. So I'm going to hit choose file. We'll install PluginDashboard. Activate that. And so we've got our PluginDashboard here, right? I'm going to go to dashboard. And let's just say that we want it, again, we want to have all of the plugins. I'm going to pause this real quick while I enter in my key here. All right, so I entered in my key. I'm hitting save. And oops, let's see here. Come on. Did I put in the wrong key? What's going on? Enter in this key. Maybe it's not going to go. We'll see. Did I grab the wrong one? Dang it. Grab this. I think I locked myself out, Robert.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So what do you need?
Can you log in and clear the firewall on the server?
Yep. Doing
it's
that
on
now.
Product University. Yep.
You might have to guide me through it, though.
Okay. All right.
Log
I'm going to
in.
bring it back here. Perfect. No problem. And so here's what we can do. So while he's getting that set up, I'm going to go to right here where it says transfer all activated plugins. And what you can see is for any blog that you've got here, you can just click this and it gives you a list of everything that you've got. And you just simply copy and paste that. And so, Robert, actually, while you're doing that, I'm going to show another cool thing that we've added here that we can show.
All right, and you should be unblocked, should be flushed out.
Oh, well, let me see here. I'll go back here, pause this, and I hit it too many times. There we go. So what we do, so now we've got it installed over here on our site. And let's just see, we're still on PD, and you can notice we've got our posts set up. We've still got the links in here, and we've still got no plugins and Akismet out of date, right? Oops, still paused. There we go. We're back. Everybody back? All right. So we still got our post here, right? We still got our links. We've still got, if you look at the plugins, we've got Akismet out of date, but we got PluginDashboard on here. Well, let's say we want to move all of the stuff from our template, and we don't want to upload, we don't want to keep everything on our site, we just want to have our template online. Well, I'm going to go to PluginDashboard now, and on my template, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Transfer All Activated Plugins. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to select Copy, and now I'm going to go over to our new site, right, the one that we just set up, and I'm going to come down here to List All Plugins to Install, and I'm just going to paste this in here. Okay, so I've got this all pasted in, no problem. And I want to delete like any plugins that aren't in use, like Hello Dolly, and I want to update Akismet and delete all of this stuff. And you know what else I want to do? I named this site wrong. I don't want it to be Membership Newbie. I want it to be PluginDashboard and get PluginDashboard, all of the stuff where you got to click through normally. And I'll leave the admin the same. And I'm just going to go ahead and click install and uninstall selected plugins. And something really cool is happening right now. It's going through and it's creating and activating all of the plugins just like they are on the other site. So now when we come down and go look at our plugins page, oops, did it not grab those? What happened here? post. Let's go check it again. Dashboard. Let me paste this in. Install. See what happened. Plugin is the latest version. Returning. Did I grab it from the wrong site? Let's see. Oh, there we go. No, what I did the first time. So you go to plugins, and you can see now we've got all of the same plugins on both of the blogs, and everything's activated. So just in a couple clicks now, you can move whatever you want between two blogs. That's pretty cool, right? It's just checking a box. Now, let's say that we were over here on this blog, and let's say on our template, we came in, because this is what happens to me a lot. A lot of times, I'll know that I've got a plugin on one of my blogs, but I can't remember the name of it, right? So let's pick one. What was one that somebody mentioned earlier that was on here? Let me see if I can scroll up. Can't find one, so I mean, we'll just use let's see what kind of content.
I saw WP Security plugin. Oh, there you go.
WP Security. Okay, well, we'll use this one. So let's say like easy contact forms, right? So you might have this installed on some blog, and you know that you've got this contact form that you want to use in another place, right? But you can't remember what it's called. Well, what I do is, especially between all sites, is I'm like, I know I have this on this site. I got to go see what the name is, and then I'll install it. Well, remember we added this cool thing called download right here? Well, it's download, yes, but it's something even cooler than that. Now watch what I'm going to do. Remember, easy contact forms is not on this blog, right? And I don't want to go through like having to go find it, look it all up. But what I want to do is I log into my one blog. I go, okay, it's easy contact forms, and I could download it and save it to my computer. That's cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to copy link address. Okay, so I log into my blog where I know it's at. I want to put it on my new blog, so I do copy link address, and now I go to my new site, and again, dashboard, plugin dashboard, and I just go down here, and again, right click and paste, and I'll just install that. And just like that, now we can see we've got easy contact forms. So it's awesome to be able to sync up stuff, to move entire blogs. All you have to do is just check a box. And literally, now you can just manage your entire WordPress blogs, from your updates to whatever, all from one screen with just one click of a mouse. Pretty awesome stuff, right? And I mean, what it is this plugin that we've been showing you guys called PluginDashboard. And literally, with just a few checks of a box, a few clicks here, a push of a button, you can install and all of your plugins, make templates, and configure your blog in just a single click. And it's all included inside of our package called PluginDashboard. And not only are you going to get the plugin that we've been talking about today, but you're also going to get a WordPress video crash course, which is done from Robert, where he literally shows you everything that you need to know about WordPress. You're going to get videos on search engine optimization plugins, navigation plugins, caching plugins, traffic plugins, management plugins, e-commerce plugins, and of course, you're going to get the installer plugin so that you can manage all of your sites, create templates, and save yourself that hour that you guys were talking about at the very beginning. You're going to get all of this today for a total value of $1,073. Now think about your time. Think about what you're worth, and think about how much it would be beneficial to you if instead of spending 60 minutes setting up a new site, you got to click a few buttons, check a box, and install all of your stuff, activate it just like we did right now. Well, that is really, really awesome. And think about how long you probably spent trying to get that perfect setup, trying to get all of the plugins that you want. How long did it take you guys to do all of that? Well, wouldn't it be awesome if you just had it as a template? You click the transfer all of your plugins and it moved it over for you? I think so. Think about how much time and money it would be worth for you just to simply be able to create a new blog that's just like the one that you've got with all of the plugins activated there, or to be able to have a template where you can just go. Or one of the big ones that I love about this plugin is I hate when new WordPress comes out and I go and I have to upgrade every single plugin on my site. Wouldn't it be awesome to just be able to click a button, check a box, and have it all there for you? It would be incredible. And wouldn't you feel better if you could just manage your site more efficiently so you could focus on your product, so you could focus on making systems, so you could focus on the stuff that you're good at, the stuff that you wanted to do when you came online instead of the details about managing your site? Well, I think it would be awesome for all of this stuff. And so today, you're going to get a discount on the Plugin Dashboard Suite. It's just $497. And here's the thing. I want you to create a system. I want you to just go through and do your marketing and not think about all of these sites. So how about if it's not $497, how about if I knock that even in half and make it just $297? Well, that would be an incredible deal, especially if you think that, well, now you can just start moving yourself forward. You don't have to every single time have to go through and find out what all your plugins were. You just create a template, check a box, copy it over, and now you've got all of your plugins there and activated for you, easily worth $97. And you can get yours today at PluginDashboard.com. That's PluginDashboard.com. PluginDashboard.com, where you can get the plugin right now, where you can create your template right now, just $97. You can use it on every single blog that you own. And really think about it. I mean, how many hours is this going to save you if you've got 20 sites, if you've got 50 sites, if you've got 100 sites? Easily worth your time. And it's all there for you right now at PluginDashboard.com. So head over there right now and secure your spot, because think about having all of your templates. And this is the one thing that, has saved us an incredible amount of time, is that every time we need a site, anytime we need to transfer plugins, well, you saw how simple and easy it is to use that. It's all there for you at PluginDashboard.com, just $97. And here's the thing. For those of you that haven't headed over there right now, I want to know why. What's the reason why you don't have this right now? What's the reason you're not using this on your blog? And I'm guessing that I know it. I'm guessing the reason is that you really want this, but you're wondering about the $97 price tag, right? Well, here's what I want to do for you guys today for being here right now. And Gary already knows it's not going to be $97. In fact, I want this to be such a no-brainer, must-have solution for you to use in your business. What if I made it $47? Would that be worth it? What if I made it $27? Come on, just think about what your time is worth. You guys said it took you guys 60 minutes just to update your plugins. What if that all went away? What is your time worth? Well, how about this? What if I make this an offer that every single one of you absolutely has to take today? It's just $17. That's right, just $17. And in 5 minutes from now, you can be checking a box. You can be moving your plugins from server to server. You can have to never again activate anything on your site. You can manage it all from one place. You get built-in tutorials, built-in videos, built-in transfer of all of your stuff. You get automatic one-click updates. You don't have to delete all of this stuff every time you install a fresh WordPress plugin or a new WordPress installation. All you have to do, set up your WordPress the way that they tell you to set it up, which it takes like 5 seconds, right? You just check boxes with them too. And now what you do is you just transfer all of your plugins, have them all activated in one step, just $17. Just $17 at PluginDashboard.com to literally change the way that you do business online. So head over there right now to www.PluginDashboard.com, PluginDashboard. That's PluginDashboard.com, and you can pick yours up today, and in just a few minutes be checking a box. So I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to go to PluginDashboard, Dashboard.com, PluginDashboard.com. There's going to be a video for you there at the top. Just scroll down to the bottom. Your price today, just $17. It's going to change the way that you do business. It's going to change the way that you look at WordPress. And I mean, think about it. Go get this for yourself today. Install it on your site. Save yourself an hour of work and go do something with your family. That's worth 17 bucks. That's what I'm going to go do. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. We'll see you over at PluginDashboard.com, just $17. Go ahead, head over there, click a box, check the button, and we will see you on the inside. Have a great day, everybody.